And welcome everybody to the Philly podcast presented by CEVSports.com, streaming live on StreamYard.com and Twitch TV, sponsored by the Monkey's Uncle. We bring you a fun new twist on Philadelphia sports and more. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. And here's myself, Eric Perugini, Chris Lahiff, and Pat Hausman. Gentlemen, how are you?
I'm doing good. That was quite an intro.
I figured I'd give it a try because this is the intro that I wrote up because I'm trying to get someone professional to do it with a little bit of sound and sound effects in it. So I figured I'd give it a shot today. So debut it before someone that knows how to do voiceover work can do their magic.
Well, you did good.
Oh, thank you. I'm not the movie trailer guy, but I was happy with what I did.
That guy must make so much money.
You got a voice for radio, a face for radio, for radio.
I definitely have a face for radio.
Joke would have been a lot better if I got it right the first time.
Yes.
So what's going on, gentlemen?
Well, nothing much on my end, man. Just another fun-filled day back at work after a weekend down the shore. So I'm loving life right now.
Yeah. That was a long weekend.
Yes, it was.
But it was all good. So obviously, it's slow because it's August. So you got preseason where everyone's experts right now in their sports. It's, oh my God, Joe Flacco's the starter, or Brad Miller's the starter at first base over Rhys Hoskins. And I don't know if anyone watched the last two series, but if you can't tell me how important Rhys Hoskins is to this team, you don't know baseball. Don't, because not having him in the lineup and they lost two series back to back just goes to show you how important they are. He is. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
getting
he is important.
Getting a little tongue tied there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but no, he is. He's very important, and it shows you just by not having him in there. How it hurts them, and it is what it is at this point. But yeah, I mean, Brad Miller's not your everyday answer. Even though he has had a couple big hits for them this year, he literally is. He's not Rhys Hoskins. Let's put it that way.
No,
he's been terrible. He's a guy.
Yeah, he's been terrible since the walk-off grand slam.
Very true.
So,
very true.
But I don't know. I don't know if anyone watched I don't know if anyone watched the series, the Cincinnati Reds series. Did anybody? I know you watched it with us, Eric. I don't know if anybody else watched it.
I watched it,
but I know I'm gonna get flack from it. But if you those umps were terrible from Friday to Sunday. Were absolutely terrible. Yesterday's that one call, that kept the at bat alive, and the guy ended up scoring when the guy squeezed Connor Brogdon. Well, he didn't even really squeeze him; it was down the plate in the box, and he called it a ball. I don't know what they were saying. I don't get it anymore. If people want robot umps, I don't think robot umps is the answer. But we can't have road umps.
Well, I mean,
it's going to take some of the error out of the game now. That might not be a bad thing. And I know it's not traditional, but at least it takes some of the human error aspect out of it because they haven't been good. And maybe I'll clip the nuts a little bit of guys like Joe West. They could goodbye. I've hated that guy since. I think I was old enough to understand what baseball was. I thought the game was all about them. All these guys have their egos are huge. So if they're going to get rid of officials in any sport, let it be baseball. They can go.
That's also the same for, what's his name, Angel Hernandez? Is he another one?
Yeah.
He's terrible. And
He's terrible.
the sad part is the umpires actually have a very strong union. Like
That's the thing.
They have a strong union. Like I heard people talking about it this morning, and they're saying, if this was any other sport, they'd probably be gone.
Yep.
Or any other job other than umpiring, they'd be out of there. I mean, I didn't know that Hernandez, he didn't he didn't do a playoffs, and he filed a grievance saying that it was because he's Hispanic. And I'm like, no, it's because you suck.
Yeah, it's because you're terrible. Yeah.
Your numbers are horrible. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, those are two clear examples of umpires that should not be calling baseball games anymore. They really shouldn't be. I mean,
Right.
the stats of the games that they call are historically bad. So
Yeah, I mean, like that umpire who threw Castellanos out on a terrible call on a called strike 3, like it was terrible. There's nothing else to say about it. Like I don't like what else is there to say? So we got John and Keith, John Hunter, big baseball guy. He's saying that Ronald Torreyes and Miller aren't everyday options. Obviously, we're all on the Torreyes train because he's been hitting the ball. Unfortunately, if Alec Boehm didn't suck defensively as a third baseman, Torreyes wouldn't be in there. He wouldn't. That's just my opinion. I don't think he
bad.
He's terrible, and he's terrible at first. Like, it's like who would have thought I would say I'd miss Reese Hoskins at first base. I miss his defense at first base. Torreyes is he's a great utility bench player, almost like Kevin Stocker in the 90s. I know it's a different comparison, but I don't know how Torreyes would do in big moments. He's gonna get his opportunities because of the defense played by Alec Boehm. It's gonna cost the Phillies. It's gonna cost them some games. Like the defense, Didi Gregorius is terrible. Like if our defense was half of what it should be, Torreyes wouldn't be in the lineup. They wouldn't be.
Yeah, Didi has seriously just forgotten how to play defense at this point in his career. Just has forgotten how to play.
It's not that he forgot how to play. He just wasn't good defensively to begin. I guess he'll be back. Didi just wasn't good defensively. Like I go back to when I go in the Diamond Club with John, and John, we always talk about it. Is if your defense suffers and you do other things well, you'll be okay with it. Like perfect example, and I always go back to it, is Ryan Howard. No one cared about Ryan Howard's liability at first base because he was drilling 425-foot home runs, 40 of them a year.
Right.
Like let's be realistic. No one cared. No one cared that he couldn't make that throw from first to second. You always drilled the runner in the back of the head. If he was a pitcher, like my other coach Danny said, he would nail him right in the head. And he threw it right down the middle, but he could never make that throw from first to second. And we didn't care because he would make up with it with a 3-run home run. If 1 run scored, he would come up with a 3-run home run. It's just how it's how baseball is. It's like if you aren't good defensively and you have a good offensive system, and you're a good offensive player, no one's going to care. It's just the way it is. Like it's, Andrew Knapp, when he was in the minors, I always go back to this, like me and Keith, we went to a Reading Phillies game and Andrew Knapp was the catcher and he was terrible. He was absolutely terrible, but he hit 2 home runs that game and they were moonshots, and he hit one from the right side and he hit one from the left side. So it was like, all right, well, now I know why this guy's on the team, because he can't catch for shit. So,
yeah, very true, very true. Well, don't forget also,
and he did have a lot of pass balls that game. We lost count. It was terrible.
I do agree. Like he's just having a lot of issues, and I mean, but who, you got him you got him to a decent sized contract. You got to play the guy. I mean, I don't know. I want to say that they have a chance with the schedule that they have remaining compared to the other teams that they're going up against. But
Yeah, I
still see a
didn't
lot of holes.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to beat the Dodgers in the series. Honestly, Dodgers are just too good.
Yeah.
But let's get off track a little bit because I forgot to mention this before we start this in our pregame. Let's talk about the Field of Dreams game.
Beautiful
Let's
game.
let's talk about it. Like, if anybody here, like who Keith, I'm going to call Keith right down on it. He said Field of Dreams movie was not a good movie. He said it was okay, but he wasn't a fan of it. Said, you're out of your mind. Yeah,
he's
him and his
nuts.
dad. Oh,
Oh.
I snapped on him. I was like,
Yeah.
I sent a very mean text. We'll just leave it at that. It was very vulgar. So
Yeah.
Well, Field
I
of Dreams
mean-
is my dad's favorite movie. So like I grew up on that movie. So like watching the game be played there, like it was such a good idea. I understand that they probably don't make the money off the tickets and everything because they don't sell. They're not selling beers at the stadium, so they're losing revenue. Some of these teams, but to be able to play in that game and say you were able to play in it's just fantastic. And getting the White Sox of all teams, since it was about Shoeless Joe Jackson and everything, playing in this historic, most famous team in the league, the Yankees. I mean, it was so awesome to watch. And then them come through the cornfields. I mean, it was so well done. It's something that baseball, I think, has long been looking to try to do to bring people back to the game. And, they finally, I think, found a really good idea, something that they can do every single season that's going to get people to tune in and at least watch and maybe, come back to the game, become fans again after they left for a while. So I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. I thought it was actually a really good thing. I think, as far as for being, a top movie, I love Field of Dreams. I think Field of Dreams was a great movie, especially if you've ever played catch with your dad. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
No, so how you were saying about like selling beer and everything, and Major League Baseball didn't get any revenue off that, which you're right. So they may, and I didn't know that actually. I didn't know they didn't sell beer. Thank God they didn't.
Well, they didn't sell as much of it. I mean, it's limited.
Well, there's only 8,000 people there.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: like, where you make up for that is where ESPN, MLB Network, you buy the rights to that. Like that's
Correct.
And that's how you get your viewership.
Yeah.
Like, you buy the rights to the ESPN game. And I was like reading like all the Twitter comments, like, and there was no negative things on social media about that game. The only negative thing I saw is that they should let Shoeless Joe Jackson in because now Major League Baseball is making money off of his name. I'm like, all right, if that's your argument,
that's the argument.
Whatever. It's not a bad debatable argument. I mean, I get why he's banned, but like for 4 minutes and 15 seconds, Kevin Costner just walked onto the field. There was no announcers. There was no nothing. It was just the music from Field of Dreams. And, as we always say, as we said this weekend, Kevin Costner loves himself some Kevin Costner. So he just stood around and he looked. And when they panned up to the camera and they just came out through the cornfield, and you were just like, all right, I'm in. I'm watching this game.
Yeah.
It just sucks you in. Like, the movie is, I don't even know how old the book is, but the movie's 32 years old. So this was in the making, why it took so long. And I'm a big fan. Like I said over the weekend, I think they should do 4 a season. You do one a month. And you put it on Sunday Night Baseball. You make it an exclusive, almost like the Winter Classic. Because look at the Winter Classic. How many games are outside now? There's 4 or 5. You do this game and you leave it there. You leave with only 8,000 people. Like you have other fans have the opportunity to go to this game. I know you're pressing the luck because it's only 4 games, and it might be overkill. I don't think it would be overkill. I personally, when it got announced 2 years ago, I had every intention of somehow getting tickets to this game and going to it. I know only 8,000 people were going, and I was hoping to be one of the 8,000. But it was every intention of trying to get to that game. And then you had colleges play. I think they had Little League baseball on there, like during the week. Like, they're gonna make money off this field. Major League Baseball isn't stupid. They actually got the marketing right. Like, we always sit there and say on the Diamond Club podcast and on this podcast, is the marketing of these teams and these players. How MLB didn't market Mike Trout. They stuck with the Aaron Judges. They actually marketed this correctly. from the jerseys to the hats to having Kevin Costner, having Darth Vader. I was about to say James Earl Jones speak, or like during before the pregame and like his speech, like that was phenomenal. Like it sucked you in. It like you said, like for someone. What was the most famous thing on Twitter? How can you not be romantic about baseball?
Mm-hmm.
Like you go into that ninth inning, they're leading by like 4, and they were leading by 3, and then the Yankees hit 2 2-run home runs, and then Tim Anderson walks it off. Like you could again, that's the shit that only happens in movies. Like think about it, it only happens in movies.
Oh, that ending to the game was definitely a movie ending. I mean, the way how that I mean from the pregame production and all that stuff with Costner, which I thought was amazing. I mean, when he turned and they started walking out, I lost it. Like I was like, oh my god, that was just great to see that. But I actually like the idea of just doing it once a year. I like the idea of doing it once a year. I mean, you can do a couple more, but I do. I like the idea of once a year and lead up to more games a year, kind of like how the NHL did. Like the first few seasons of the Winter Classic, they had one game. It was a big build up, and then they started with all these different games and everything. And then look, it finally got to a Lake Tahoe game, and that would have been amazing if it wasn't for COVID. That would have been absolutely amazing to see if it wasn't for the times that we're living in right now. But no, I think you started off with the one and build and go from there, and then it's just more. I don't know. I look at it, it's just more not nostalgic, but it sucks you in a little bit more.
Yeah,
and then
I mean,
then you can expand.
so everyone's saying like less, like John said, less is more, and I get it. And when you go back to the Winter Classic, they didn't know if it was going to be a success. Like, how many people want to go sit out in the cold? Well, they saw that Buffalo and Pittsburgh series, and that first game, and then when Sidney Crosby won it in the shootout, and they saw that they had everyone hooked.
Yeah.
Now, if for me, like maybe because how it's on New Year's Day, maybe do it on July 4th. Like just something to like bring. I mean, I know everyone's gonna watch baseball, but maybe something like that to like bring more allure to it. Like the next game that's gonna be on there. You can't tell me the way they market it is not. It's gonna be the Sandlot. Sandlot's gonna be Sandlot. I have a feeling that's gonna happen. Playing baseball in the Sandlot.
That would be actually kind of fun. That really would. I don't know how I don't know how they'd pull that one off, but I would damn sure love to see it. But
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, just
and yes, the Yankees are the only MLB team to lose a game in Iowa.
That is true. But yeah,
I don't necessarily believe that though. That's a regular season game. I think back when they used to barnstorm, I believe that they probably stopped over and played games there, but they weren't official MLB games. So I think there's a little bit with the stats there. I had to look that up, but I believe that at some point in time MLB teams did stop through there. But you bring up a good point about playing in Iowa. I don't know if that town can handle all that pressure, all that stuff that they need to do to get themselves ready for that 4 times a year. So that's what, and I actually had the idea too right before Chris said it about the Sandlot. Now, it's going to be hard to find, a 90-foot field with long enough fences to design it. But if you go to like an LA type of setting, maybe you can carve something out like that, and they can host it every year. But it's just that would be really hard, I think, to do. Iowa, obviously, you have unlimited space, but that would be all those ideas would be pretty cool. But I don't think you could do more than one Field of Dreams games. You'd have to market it towards, some of these historic baseball movies. Sandlot, The Natural, or Field of Dreams. Like you'd have to do a different take on every single one of them. I don't think you can keep capturing the magic with doing 4 different games at the Field of Dreams game. Because here's the thing, you already hit it out of the park with there too. Kevin Costner showed up to it. You had the guys walk through the cornfields. If you're doing that 4 times a year, it doesn't become special at that point anymore. You're stuck with it. So I think in order for them to have 4 different games a year, you're gonna have to use You're going to have to go to the well as far for a different baseball movie to try to make this thing special.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. Like what you're saying, it's like you have your Field of Dreams game, and then like the following month you have the Sandlot game. That would be really cool because I mean that would work out very well for a lot of young kids. Like they'd be like, wow, this is we do this now after school. We do this during the summer. And that would be kind of cool to see. I'll tell you what, the one game
and
that
you could actually do something at Wrigley Field for Rookie of the Year. You bring Gary Busey in, he could stand on the mound for an hour, that crazy, and that would get great ratings.
Yeah.
Well,
stop with the Rookie of the Year. That movie's so stop it. Stop it. Yeah. If I'm picking any right, if I'm picking,
dude,
I'm not picking Chet the Rock or
Gary
Stedman.
Busey in it.
I'm doing a League of Their Own. I'm not doing Rookie of the Year.
But
I know what you're saying.
A joke. Yeah,
no, I know.
Gary Busey's as crazy as the day is long, so I'd watch anything he's in. So,
I would love it. I'd be like, oh, they're gonna wheel him out.
Well,
just don't comb your hair, Gary.
Yeah,
that's all we ask.
Yeah.
The game that I would actually like to see next would probably be an NBA game at Rucker Park. That would be kind of cool. Like just make it the battle of the New York teams, the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks. Let them do it. That I think that would be kind of cool because I think you're going to start seeing a little bit of a trend here because it happened first. It started at the end. What, Chris?
What did I say months ago about the NBA having an outdoor basketball game? What did I say?
You just said what I repeated.
I know. I'm just saying. Like we talked. I said, "Get out of here." We said that months ago. Like to try to get like an outdoor game. It would be hard because of weather. It's
right.
and a blacktop gets ridiculously hot. But no, you know what? That would be good marketing. You're right with the two New York teams. Like I love it. Like that would be good.
The teams start too late. That's the problem. That's really the problem.
Right.
Is the teams start too late. You're starting at the end of October for basketball, and then like you do it towards the end of the year, but that's like March, and then after that you're getting in the playoffs. So that's there's always going to be a weather issue with basketball and playing outside.
No, you would have to do a West Coast team. It would unfortunately have to be a West Coast team. Yeah, that's the only way. But like
but then there's
Eric's,
no charm.
right?
There's no charm to it. There's no charm to it. If it's not name me one other outdoor basketball venue that's well known as Rucker Park.
Venice Beach. White men can't jump.
Oh, please stop it. That was a horrible.
I'm just saying. LA fans don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. They don't care about sports.
Put your clown,
These people
put
don't
your
deserve
clown
anything
mask
nice.
on now. Put your clown mask on now.
Those people don't deserve anything nice. They had two NFL teams and they managed to lose two, and then they bought them back. Did everybody see the fight the other night at the stadium at SoFi Stadium? First time they're let to have fans back. Yeah, that fight made no sense to me. Two fan bases of people that have had that team there for 4 years at this point, and one person got offended by something that.
I thought it was Eagles fans.
Yeah. No. So somebody said something about the Chargers that the Charger fan didn't like, and because he's been a fan for 4 years at this point, he's so emotionally invested during a preseason game they decided to brawl. It's just those fans don't deserve anything nice, as far as I'm concerned. To hell with them.
I've never been so angry at a sporting event where I wanted to punch someone, and I'm a Philadelphia fan. And I've been, me and Eric, we are 4 for 4. We've been through a lot of shit as fans. And I don't know, I can't speak for Eric, but I've never wanted to punch someone because you talked something about my team. Like, I'm not speaking for Eric, but for me, I've never, really? Like, we're fighting over what?
Yeah, no.
And it was a lady who started it. She threw like a...
She threw the beer. Yeah.
That's like a $14 beer. I'd be mad too.
Yeah.
Like...
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the video was crazy to watch. That was just an absolute crazy one to watch. Okay, now, all right, hold on, Darth Pooh, whatever your name is. No, he gave me an
Keith.
I don't care what his name is. He's a clown. He put out there. You asked me name one, and it's a movie set. I'm talking like these guys actually made a baseball field. All right, that you're talking about a park. I was talking about Rucker Park. That's an actual place, not somewhere where Wesley Crazy Snipes and Woody frickin' Harrelson go to get paid to do a movie. No. Rucker Park. That's it. Poo off.
And Rucker Park, a lot of these NBA players, like they grew up, let's say Minnesota or San Antonio, someplace else, and they would still come to Rucker Park to play because they wanted the exposure, they wanted to get their names out there, they wanted to play against good competition. So, like I said, Rucker Park has that name. A lot of these guys, if you're doing it with two superstar laden teams, a lot of those guys have probably even played there before. So that's what makes it special. Like they're kind of going back to something that they might have done, 10, 5, whatever years ago. So that's what makes it awesome. The fact that they started their career there, to eventually become an NBA player, and now they're back there again. That's what you really want. But everything kind of comes full circle with that.
You're talking about two superstar teams. The Lakers are always going to have a superstar team. It's the allure of people going there. I don't know. It's hot. It's nice. It's Hollywood.
If people want to see a basketball game being played next to guys oiled up in bodybuilding on Muscle Beach, go ahead, go for it. Be my guest. I'd rather see Brooklyn Park surrounded, like where in the urban setting that basketball comes from. Basically, now. I know it was invented by a Canadian, but it comes from an urban setting.
Here you go. You can market it this way. They could do the He Got Game at Rucker Park. And Ray Allen come back as Jesus Shuttlesworth.
I like that.
Denzel come in. Like all these people are still alive. It's the availability's there. You just got to find a good time to do it. That's all.
So let's. So since we segued into talking about the fight, which is like John Griff said, my man hit 5 people once with a flare chop and then took a beating. Like he
really did.
He was. Oh, that was something out of Three Stooges. He did like a backhand against 3 people's faces. He looked like Mo from. Like you said, he basically lined up Larry and Curly, just gave him the backhand the whole way down the line, and then they were face planted.
And then after that, they were like punching his ass. I'm like, what? Why are you punching him? Like what is going on?
Some guy ran in at the end was just like hitting him right on the ass. I'm like, what is this? Like, it's just such a mess.
But with that, we'll go in. We'll obviously, since Pat segued into the fight and LA doesn't deserve it, which I love. Let's talk about preseason. What is to you? What do you think the big story is in Philadelphia sports for the Eagles? What do you think the big story is?
Well,
it's going to be the quarterback coach.
Yeah, it's going to be the quarterback. Actually, no. Right now, the big story is Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz actually having a conversation in Indy, which is amazing to me. Like
I thought their relationship was fractured.
Oh yeah, because that's what the media told us. Get out of here! Like, come on.
Well, it's clear now that this is able to happen outside the city. Who the actual problem was, and that's Howie Roseman. The problem was, and I think everybody with half a brain kind of suspected he was the issue all along anyway, and all that really does is just confirm that he's in fact the issue. The Sirianni, everybody's going to micromanage what he's doing, game wise at these open practices, how the team looks. It's all going to be on him. Again, like I talked about a couple weeks ago with being a hockey goalie in Philadelphia. Tough job because it's one of those thankless positions. Hold on.
Eric, does your dad need help?
No, he's all right. I just happen to see like this fake. You can keep going, Dad. You're in my shot. So it's like
I just wanted to make sure he was all right.
No, he's good. He's doing wash.
So, but go back, Pat. You were saying.
Yeah, like with Sirianni, it's like one of the hardest jobs you can have in this town is being the head football coach and being the quarterback here. So they got a guy who did half a season last year for them, young guy stepping in with a brand new coach. That of course is going to be a huge story, and both of these guys are under the microscope. I don't care if people set low expectations for them; they're under the microscope. So it's going to be a tough. It's so far from what I understand. And people earlier in the camp, I think, were saying Jalen Hurts didn't look great. Apparently today at the joint practice day with the Patriots, he looked awesome. So I'm hoping people give him an opportunity. That he kind of comes in here with a clean sheet this year.
Listen, I'm on record of saying this. I don't care. Like, unless you look horrifically bad in preseason,
Doesn't
I
matter.
don't. I
Yeah.
don't care. Like Sam Bradford looked like Aaron Rodgers, Joe
Oh,
Montana that one year, and we
yeah.
all swore we were going to the Super Bowl. We did not go to the Super Bowl, but yeah, like I don't take it. I don't take what it is. I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy. I'm not a fan. I'm going to root for him. I'm absolutely going to root for him. I think this team goes through Miles Sanders and the defense. The defense is looking like it's finally going to be, what it was supposed to be the last 3 seasons after the Super Bowl. It looked like their front four is going to be dominant. Hargrave looked really good against the Steelers. He was just manhandling people, and they were starters. The secondary, Steven Nelson looked good. Darius Slay, all these guys. Singleton, he was all over the field. It's hold on. It's everything. Like I think the Eagles are going to surprise a lot of teams. Me and Greg met up with a Dallas fan this past weekend. God forbid Philadelphia fans are probably losing their mind right now. And we were talking about football, and the teams in the NFC East aren't going to be as bad as people think they are. I think the Giants will because I don't trust Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I think he has his issues with fumbling and turnovers. Like if he can control those, you'll be fine. They'll be fine. But I as a Giants fan, I would have no faith in Daniel Jones.
Is Darius Slay okay? Anybody see? He got injured in practice today.
Who was
I
that?
didn't see that.
Speaking, he got upended. I know him and Avonte Maddox had a collision. He was down for a while. So I didn't know if you guys had heard anything. I know Darius Slay, they were talking about there was an issue at camp today with an injury. So, but obviously that guy's gonna be a big. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say I was following that on Twitter. Darius Slay, he went down, but he got up under his own power and went off back to the trainers area and all that stuff. But I haven't heard anything else after that. Like I was trying to follow that all day. As soon as I saw that, I said, "Oh man." So
yeah, the two things that I've heard come out of camp, aside from Hurts and the Quez Watkins seems like he's going to be, and I know that everybody wanted to try to trade for a wide receiver, but it sounds like Quez Watkins is going to be that speed guy they've been looking for, and the downfield threat. They're saying he's not really a secret anymore, and he's looked good every practice. He seems like he'd be able to get downfield and be that guy who takes the top off the defense that they wanted Jackson to be last year. So it's good that they got a guy like that because I think every team kind of needs a guy like that.
yeah, no.
So
I mean, we
Go ahead,
talked about Quez. Like he like Chris and I were talking one time, like before you joined the show, and I had said to him, I said, I really like Quez Watkins. And then we started talking more and more about it. And Chris was like, well, why do you like him? I said, dude, just a couple plays that we saw from him. I said, he catches the ball. I said, he's fast. I said, he could really be a downhill threat, to spread the defense and everything. And so far, like, I'm just excited for the guy. I like him. I really like him. But go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
So no, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Like Eric, he was high on him, and I was so. And then I got on the train. I was good with it, but we have to see him when he's going deep, because everyone's like him and Jalen and they're gonna report. I'm like, he's throwing 4-yard passes and he's going 80 yards. That's what he did against Arizona, and that's what Flacco did. He threw a 4-yard pass behind the line. Well, I mean. It was like a 79-yard touchdown, but he ended up with north and south, and I think it was 87 yards, and it was all Quez Watkins.
Yeah.
Like if we can get that play off with Quez Watkins and he stays healthy, and you're absolutely right, Pat. He can go over the top of the defense. It's gonna help. I go back to it. It's gonna help the run game. You're gonna have to respect the run game. You're gonna have to play your safety up. You're to play You can't play zone the entire game. Because people think the Eagles receivers are going to be terrible. You just can't do it. I saw some, I didn't watch that much of the preseason game, but I don't know if anyone saw Goddard's catch and then his yards after catch. Like he's an animal. Dallas Goedert is an animal. And if they don't re-sign him this year, I'll be really mad. Dallas Goedert is ridiculous. He just doesn't stop. I know
Well,
I'm going
he's
to
your
get
tight
flack
end
for
that
this.
can do that. He's your tight end. Zach Ertz can't. Like, Zach Ertz can't catch the
No.
ball and go and plow somebody over. Goddard's the guy who can do that.
Well,
Me and
apparently-
Darthpool and are always talking about yak. He doesn't know what yak is. It's like it's not on the back of his card. It's not. It's catches and yards. There's no yards after the catch. He's like, I don't do that. We don't do that here.
Well, it doesn't sound like we have to worry about that this year. It seems like he's dropping everything in pass in camp and practices. So I mean, his situation hasn't changed except now he doesn't have his best friend throwing him the football anymore. So I'm way out on Zach Ertz. I'm out on him because I am.
So Dallas Goedert reminds me, and I'm not saying he is him. I'm not absolutely saying he is him. But he reminds me of Jason Witten when Jason Witten would get the ball and just wouldn't go down. Ever. Like he got Jason Witten his helmet ripped off against the Eagles and he didn't stop. That's like if you go back to I think it was 2018 when he had that touchdown called back against the Dallas Cowboys on that screen when they said there was pass interference when there wasn't. You know, he got like his helmet came off. He was stopped like 4 times and he just didn't stop. Like that's a Jason Witten toughness.
That's a guy I could never figure out how he was that good was Jason Witten. Jason Witten looked like he was slow in the field. He had the slowest freaking stiff arm you'd ever see. It was just a slow little push on the guy, but he got open all the time. All the time. And he didn't seem like he was quick either. Just one of those things. He doesn't translate well to TV, I guess, because I just couldn't figure. I guess he runs great routes, but he was open all the time. Caught the ball all the time, but it's just like, man, this guy does not seem like he's a great athlete, you know? He gets open all the time. So
he did have beautiful hair when he was a commentator. He did have beautiful hair,
and he had a short little time as a commentator too. My God, they couldn't wait to get him.
He was terrible.
The field. He was terrible.
So I like this comparison, which I can say it. Yeah, Dallas, like he is right. Goddard is fast for his size. For his size, he's not Jason. He is fast, so it's a good comparison. Again, we're not comparing these guys to Dallas Goedert. We're not comparing these guys to Jason Witten. We're comparing to the game that they play, like how, like what they do. Like obviously, those 2 guys are Hall of Famers. Like if those guys don't get in the Hall of Fame in the first try, I'd fight every single buddy in the Hall of Fame class. Who unless it was like a ridiculous class that was going in. But Antonio Gates and Jason Witten are first ballot Hall of Famers. And anyone who says otherwise is just stupid.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I mean, but your buddy Keith, he put this up a little earlier, which he's right. They turned us.
He's absolutely right.
He's absolutely right with that. You know, so they knew how to. They figured out a way to use him, and turned out he was going down in history as one of the best ever. So I mean, and like you said, his toughness. You brought up the game where his helmet was ripped off, and he just kept on trucking like he didn't care. I don't know. I really like Dallas Goedert. I really hope to see a lot more out of him. He looks like from what I've seen on film from watching their practices on YouTube, that I was tuning in and watching him live during camp, and he just seems to have gotten so much better. He really does. And then when he made that nice catch in the preseason game, I thought that was great. I really did. I thought it was great. I'm excited for him. I'm really excited for him. And there's been talk of them trying to extend him. I really hope they do, but I kind of don't want them to do it until like Zach Ertz is not around, because like everyone thinks Zach Ertz is mad now. Imagine if this kid gets a contract and he doesn't.
Oh, stop it! He's getting traded to New England for like an 8th round pick, and there's only 7 rounds in the NFL draft. Bill, I know they already have like 8 tight ends over there, but he's going to end up getting traded to New England. Watch, all because of that picture today.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, but there's no way you can bring Ertz in and bring him back. You can't. I mean,
at the end of his career anyway. I mean,
he definitely is.
Yeah, you don't give a guy like that a sentimental, because it's going to cost him more to stay here than if he goes to another team, because you got the memories factor in there, and you overpay guys like that.
You're talking about Philadelphia, though. I mean, you want to talk about you can't be sentimental. Try talking to the Folesian Society. Okay, like to this day, they want him back when he's the 3rd stringer in Chicago. They want him back because, oh my God, they love Nick Foles. So in Philadelphia, they go too much with the heart and with the heart. They don't look at the actual, the play of the person. They don't. So
Yeah, I mean, he's going into his 9th season, so and he's not durable. No, I'm not taking anything away, but he's been injured. He's had down years. He's not, and like, there's no reason for Zach to go ballistic if Dallas gets signed first. He was clearly drafted to replace him. So,
yeah, but it just comes down to the fact he's been trying to get a contract. They blew him off on it. He's annoyed. He's pissed. He doesn't like Howie. You bring him back to the fold, and nothing has changed. And now he's just looking pretty bad because he's not catching anything now. Like he's getting hit in the numbers, and he's not catching anything. And he used to have hands like glue. And it's sad. It's sad to see it because he's a guy that has done a lot for the city, for the football team, and it's sad to see what's happening to him with his career.
Guys that had very steady hands, who all of a sudden just seems like they can't catch anything. I saw it with Welker. I saw it with Julian Edelman the last 2 years. These are guys who caught everything. Your body, they're just tired. Their body's tired. It's been through enough battles at this point. It's not going to get any better. So, if I'm the guy, and I mean, I don't think Zach Ertz got hit too much. He didn't block a whole lot. So,
No.
But I mean, clearly the results that he's getting in camp right now, it's telling me that his body's tired and it might be time to call it quits.
Well,
now,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Okay. I was just going to say, he's actually played through a lot of injuries in his career too. It's and that'll take a toll on him. And I mean, like I said, I love Zach Ertz for what he did, but I think his time here is just done. And that's why I said I was out on him earlier because it just looks like he's just done.
Yeah.
I mean, if he very well could be, but I mean, it's only 9 years. I mean, he played. I mean, how many times did he make the playoffs when he was here? He figured 2013 is rookie year, and then it's 17, 18, and 19. I mean, he's only had extended playing time a couple times, so it wasn't like he has a lot of mileage. I mean, but like if Pat says like he saw Welker and Edelman in their career go down. So it's just I don't know. I hope we can get like a 4th round pick for him.
It's touch volume, Chris, because what happens is these guys like what was the record he said? 114 balls he caught that year.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about that. Maybe a couple times he went out of bounds, but he got hit 100 times just on passing routes. That's not counting when he's blocking. That's not counting when he's getting hit from behind, trying to block downfield. Like, he took a beating that year. And you might not have seen it on tape, but he took a beating that year because he touched the ball a lot of times. It's just like turning around and handing it off and giving the guy a lot of carries every year. It's the same kind of wear and tear you're going to see. And I don't think Ertz will be wearing a Pats jersey to Darth Pooh. They signed Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith. They're good. They're not taking him.
Yeah, they're not unless it's next year.
Yeah,
but that's so I don't know. We got the next preseason game up Thursday. Again, I don't get hyped for preseason. It is what it is. Get these guys playing time. But again, like I've said before, it comes down to the defense. I think the defense is going to be a lot better than people are going to be surprised about. Obviously, Alex Singleton's the only linebacker that I know on this team. I mean, we all know this. The Philadelphia Eagles organization does not value linebacking on the team, and really, the NFL doesn't anymore. If you go back, the NFL doesn't. You go back and you look at some of the tight ends that everyone gushed over, like Jalen Smith. He's okay. Leighton Vander Esch, he's a neck away from not playing, like another vertebrae in his neck from not playing again. Sean Lee retired because of injury. It's just the linebacker position isn't what it used to be in the 90s and early 2000s. So, with that being said, Alex Singleton, and that's it. That's all I can know on linebackers. The starting safeties are Kayvon Wallace and most likely Rodney McLeod. And then we got Nelson, and we have Darius Slay. We have Avonte Maddox. Like, their secondary has a chance to be good.
Well, wait, who was the guy that they signed as a free agent from Minnesota?
Oh, Anthony Harris.
Yeah, Anthony Harris.
I'm sorry, Anthony Harris. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about Anthony Harris. I was like, wait. I said I know they had to sign somebody else.
I mean, linebacker's not. It's not the position that it used to be with the 36 defense. Where you had a bunch of them on the field. Now you're seeing more nickel and dime coverage out there because teams are passing more. I don't think the position is depleted. I think you're seeing two of them out on the field at one time, or maybe one, as opposed to having three or four. But those guys are generally your top defensive players. You think about who the Cowboys drafted first overall this year was Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is an athletic freak. You think about some of these really good defenses we've had the last few years, even in a very good passing era. You think about the 49ers when they had P. Willie and Navarro Bowman. Two guys who can go sideline to sideline, just blow people up still. The Super Bowl champion team this year, Levante David is another guy all over the field. And some of these teams, too, they're also going to the 3-4, so you're seeing only two inside linebackers and you're seeing two pass rushing guys. A lot of teams have gone to that. So the linebacker position is very important still. It's just I don't know why the Eagles don't put as much value in that. I understand that perspective from, like, the running back position, because running back, nobody really wants to overpay at this point with the salary cap. And you can still get a guy late in the draft that can really help you out. But linebacker, for me, it's still, if you could get a guy who's just a total athletic freak like a Jamie Collins or I brought up like a Micah Parsons or a Jalen Smith, you want to have a guy like that on your team. It's necessary. And they haven't really tried to get a guy like that. Trotter? That was it. It was maybe the last guy they had that was like that. And they don't.
Right.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Well, also teams don't run the ball as much. So what need is there for a linebacker? If he gets past the front four,
well, generally they're in coverage with a running
much.
back. They're in coverage with a running back a lot of times on screens.
Yeah, but these linebackers who are covering, they're fast. That's really it. Like some of them can't tackle. Like Nate Jerry was a safety.
Levon Kirkland couldn't play middle linebacker in today's era. He was too big.
Absolutely not. He was terrible when he was with the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, he was also old at that point.
He was old
too.
Yeah.
And so he's a lot heavier than when he played when he was with the Steelers. But I think the Colts. If you look at the Dungy Colts, when he ran that nickel 2, the nickel 2 defense, you need to have those athletic linebackers that can drop back in coverage. But I think a lot of people said, well, you don't just need that with the nickel 2. You need that kind of with everything going on in the NFL nowadays. It's not just that zone defense that you need that for. You need that for everything because these guys are going to be playing a lot in space. And they need to be able to cover. So you've seen linebackers that are more tall, more rangy, that can do things like that, as opposed to these big brutes that they're coming in, they're slamming their head in somebody, trying to get 3 yards on a run play. It's just that era is done. But I still think the position's important because, like I said, these guys, they're your mix of a safety and they're your mix of a lineman, but they got the speed of a cornerback. A lot of them, they're just athletic freaks. So it is important. So for the Eagles, I think having that guy, or having somebody that you trust in the middle like that can do a lot of different things for you wouldn't be a bad thing. They just don't want to spend the money in that position. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I never understood that either. It's like you know that there is a place for them. Like there's a place for linebackers, and it's called part of your run defense. That's what I look at. It's mostly your run defense. All right, because you're not. You need someone that's fast who can move and see them coming. That's how I look at it. You want a good run defense. Have at least a good middle linebacker. Have at least a good middle linebacker. I don't care about your the other two positions, but always have at least a good middle linebacker who's fast and very athletic.
Well,
and
one of the
Eagles,
most,
just like you said, they don't do that.
One of the most underrated guys from that Super Bowl team that they had, and I don't ever hear a lot of people talk about him, but I remember watching games that year and just thinking, like, man, this guy, he just very seldom makes a mistake. He's always in position. He's always making the tackle where they're not dragging. But it was Nigel Bradham. And Nigel Bradham was a guy that was just playing in Buffalo with a core talented group of people on defense that they couldn't afford him. They couldn't afford to sign him, and they had his replacement pretty much already there. And he came here, and he was great. He's great for 2 or 3 seasons. I guess it was towards the tail end of the career. But Nigel Bradham was awesome that year.
He was good in 2017, and then he disappeared.
Yeah.
That's why he went to
I
the
thought he had a
Saints.
good 2017 and 2018. I thought he played good
No.
those first 2 seasons he came here.
I completely disagree about 2018. And then he signed with New Orleans Saints because he wanted a ring, and I don't know why. And then the Saints cut him, and then no one resigned him. Like don't get me wrong, he's better than Kiko Alonso, but the linebacker position just hasn't been something on point for the Eagles, and it never will be. Maybe if Howie leaves, it will be. But I know we got to cut the show off because I know Pat has to go coach. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm heading out to the field now.
Before we go, I want to give a shout out to my Tendies on Patterson co-host. He coached the team in the Checking for Charity League. I don't know if anyone ever looked that up. If everyone ever, I did. I was looking at it today. They got like a lot of decent players on this team. Actually, lost in the finals. His team, Scott's Hope. So they went down. They lost 2 games, and then they came back and stormed, and they won the next 2 or 3, got into the finals. And unfortunately, they lost in the finals. But one guy, tore his groin, and another guy broke his wrist and still played, like, to my knowledge. So that's little.
I don't know how you tear.
little
First off, I don't know how you tear your groin into anything, let alone skate. I mean, it's pretty necessary for you to be skating around that your groin muscle intact. So, Jesus
hockey
Christ.
players are insane. I'm assuming he didn't play, but he's a hockey player, so I'm just gonna go with that he did play. I'm gonna assume he didn't, but hockey players are a different mentality. So a little shout out to Scott's Hope for coming in second. But other than that, I don't have anything else to add. Other than look out for us on the Philly Sports Alliance. Look out for news on the CEV Sports Network. We got a wrestling show coming out. We have a football show coming out. We have 910 Sports Talk Radio show coming out on Sunday mornings. There's a lot of shows coming out. So look for us. Follow us on Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. We try to keep up to date with all the moves and everything. But other than that, anything else, fellas, you got to add?
No, sir. I'm good.
Yeah.
Nah, all right. Good show, and bring NBA game to Venice Beach.